we have a question about South Korea, Professor. And in that chart or this curve, we see that China is doing really well, and Korea never even went up as high as it could have, and it stayed. That look at that line. What does that line tell us about Korea and the work that they have been able to do to make sure that curve stays where it is?
Well, if we go to Korea, as you remember, Korea really started off with a bang. There was a big outbreak of cases in the city of Daegu, and many of those cases were related to a cluster. And so it got off on it started off with a big explosion of cases. But what the South Koreans were able to do was apply many of the things that they learned from previous outbreaks. So I'm thinking of when the MERS outbreak occurred in Seoul in 2015, which also took Korea by surprise. What they did after that was to improve the public health system. So they made things like the Korea CDC more robust and stronger, and took other steps to improve the public health system. And you can see the benefits of that now. They learned how to do contact tracing, how to do case investigations better. They really applied that. And then they took their technological expertise and really used it to use testing at a very high degree. And that strategy paid off for them in both being able to monitor and to assess their situation very well. And these are some of the common elements that were used by South Korea to flatten the curve, if anything. And again, some of the other key elements that they had there is that they had good leadership, they had good communications with the public, explaining things pretty clearly to them. And so some of these are common elements to many of the countries in Asia. And each of these countries has sort of put together their recipe for dealing with COVID a little bit differently, but there are some common elements. But I think that looking at the lessons from Korea, it's very useful for other countries in terms of determining what might be employed in their own countries.